Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. I don't make the news. I try and explain it like a 5-year-old Perna. Because that's when I stopped learning. 5-year-olds, by the way, might be able to run the Ravens better than their current gaggle of front office suits. Lamar Jackson announced today on the socials he requested a trade on March 2nd. The best reaction to this news came from Stravos Hawkius on Twitter.
Overrated. Ha! Yeah. Guess what, pal? Joe Flacco's a free agent, so you mistimed your big f***ing gambit. We're gonna be okay. Don't do it, Lamar. Please stay. Stay, Lamar. We'll get the money. Please. I don't want to lose to everybody in the AFC North again, yo. Please don't fucking go.
You had me. You had me there for a second, but well played. Well played. Today, I will discuss where I think Lamar should go and why the Ravens have not traded him, other than the fact that he's like, really, really, really good. That's good sports. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you want to support me, a great way to do so is through my coffee company, BenchwarmerBrew.com. If you sign up for the subscription service, it's the cheapest way to get my coffee. I know this shit ain't cheap, but that's because we get the highest quality beans. This is not some crap, okay? This is really good, organic, craft roasted beans. We've got multiple blends from multiple sports creators, so BenchwarmerBrew.com. Please check it out. This Lamar Jackson situation has gotten more uncomfortable than, Sean Payton's manhood inside a pair of tight-fitting, revealing khakis. If this is the new brand campaign for Let's Ride, I think it'll catch on, but like in a cool way, not in a ironic way. Broncos head coach Sean Payton said at the NFL's annual league meeting that newly signed quarterback Jarrett Stidham can become an NFL starter, and that quietly was an important signing for us. Well, I'm not sure how quiet it is when you say it into a microphone to a national television network, but I know that adding a QB who at the very least has starter-level arm talent and showed more than a few flashes in a close loss to the 49ers last year, that's a sign that nothing is guaranteed for Russell Wilson like it was a year ago. Also, Russ has had some injuries the last 2 seasons as well, and I actually think Russ plays better if there's some competition behind him, a la Matt Flynn. Now, Payton also said that the Broncos' 2022 offense was a hard film to watch. And by hard film to watch, he doesn't mean a film like All Quiet on the Western Front. I think he's referring to something like The Room, where everything's disjointed and the guy running the show has no idea what he's doing. Regardless, Long Dong Sean or Plump Pepper Payton,
It's spicy.
is the man for the job. All right, Lamar Jackson. Well, we finally got some clarity on Lamar's situation. And by clarity, I of course mean more confusion than before, because the Ravens quarterback announced today on Twitter that he demanded a trade out of Baltimore back on March 2nd, nearly a month ago. Jackson said the Ravens, quote, couldn't meet his value, something I heard from girls all the time back in college. Those girls also seem to undervalue speed, just in a different area. Now, the Ravens got Lamar's memo, but just like Geno Smith, they ain't right back for 2 years, apparently. Keep in mind that Jackson is actually a free agent who's been bitch-slapped with the franchise tag, meaning whoever signs Jackson also owes the Ravens a pair of first-round draft picks, in addition to the new contract they got to give him. Sure makes sense for a couple teams like the Colts or Falcons, who could offer up a top 10 pick this year. Personally, I think Lamar is worth the new deal and a couple first-round picks, and more, honestly. He's a steal at this point, and the only problem being, he thinks he's an expert in contract law, and he missed 11 games in the last 2 seasons. And he's working with the poor man's version of Alex Guerrero, his business assistant, Ken Francis, which I covered in the last episode. Now, this was the exact tweet Lamar posted this morning. At the exact moment, the NFL Network was talking to John Harbaugh live at the owners' meetings, which is either genius or a great coincidence.
Guys like Jonah share those tweets with me, so we appreciate it, and it's been kind of fun watching some of that stuff too. So Lamar's great on Twitter. I mean, he's fun to follow. He does a great job with all.
Now, this confirms what we have all been speculating in, that something has been off between the Ravens and Lamar for a while. This tweet, in my eyes, has given the Ravens an out as well. Not that they'll take it, but it is there. No team wants to walk away from a franchise QB. It's a dumbass, stupid, moronic business move in the NFL. It's like walking away from your wife that you love so you can live with your parents for free again so you can save money. Lamar making it public that he wants out means it's not all on Baltimore. They can say, we tried, but he wanted to go, we had to move on, and I think people actually will get that now. This move would have been crazy just like 3 or 4 years ago, but it no longer is. Tom Brady left the Patriots after what, 18 years of dominance? Deshaun Watson forced his way out of Houston before all that other shit. Russell Wilson left Seattle. Aaron Rodgers is leaving Green Bay. We think, maybe. Matt Ryan and Philly Rivers also left, albeit late in their careers. The NFL is a different beast now with QBs, and the Ravens will get 2 first-rounders for Lamar, and it's just time for them to accept that, I think. If they really wanted him, they would have met his value, whatever the hell that was.
We made a decision to go with Lamar Jackson 5 years ago, right? Why? Because we love him. We love him. We love the way he plays. We love his mindset, his charisma, his style, the way he is in the locker room. Everything about him, we love him.
What we also keep forgetting is that Lamar outplayed his last contract by a lot. Yes, the $32 million franchise tag is nothing to scoff at. That's ridiculous money. But I'm sick of NFL teams being the victim when they get a cheap QB who overperforms and then act like they're being taken advantage of when it's time to fucking pay the guy. It's bullshit. Lamar is still in his prime. He's 26 years old, and I'd bet on 4 more years of dominant play by Lamar at the position without hesitation. Think about it like this. Bears fans and the NFL in general, pretty sold on Justin Fields right now. They won the offseason already by trading the first overall pick, landing DJ Moore, stockpiling picks to build around Justin Fields, and spent big on defense. Lamar Jackson in just 12 games, really it was like 11 and a quarter, outperformed Fields last year. Fields in 15 games had the exact same amount of passing yards as Lamar in 11.25. They each threw 17 touchdowns, and Lamar had 7 picks to Fields' 11. Now, Field finished with 1,143 rushing yards. I think Lamar would have gotten close to that as well. But I just hate the narrative that Lamar isn't great or he is declining because we have seen a larger sample size from him, because we know his ceiling. He, like Justin Fields, had very few receiving options, and going back to 2021, lost every running back behind him to injury. Even last year, he didn't see his backs get healthy until midseason. The NFL has an issue, though, paying quarterbacks who run the ball well, and it's getting pretty lame. Smart football fans know this, as do smart teams. I watched Lamar in 2021 pick apart a very good Broncos defense from the pocket alone. He's done way more as a passer in the league than Justin Fields at this point, but people refuse to give him credit for it because he will miss some layups from time to time. And I know it's not an apples to apples comparison because Fields is still on his rookie deal. He's still affordable. Well, what the fuck's gonna happen to Justin Fields in 2 years? If you're excited about him now, why won't you be excited about him in a couple years if he's still delivered? Anyway, here are 3 teams I think that make sense for Lamar, who should pay him and who should give up the capital and who will embrace him, starting with, yes, the Colts. In addition to the rumors about the Colts being interested in Lamar and that they were in Baltimore recently, the Colts have an obvious void at quarterback. Despite the rock-solid addition of Gardner Minshew, they also have something else up their sleeve. the 4th overall draft pick. Baltimore could move on from Lamar and replace him immediately with someone like Anthony Richardson, possibly Will Levis. Another factor that makes sense for the Colts is their new head coach Shane Steichen, who spent the last 2+ years calling plays for another mobile quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Lamar Jackson with Gardner Minshew and Shane Steichen means the Colts will be exactly good enough to lose the championship game to the Chiefs. Now, the thing I like about the Colts scenario is the idea of Jim Irsay and Lamar Jackson negotiating one-on-one. No GM, no agent, just crazy man and man hell-bent on not paying an agent, staying up until 4 a.m, ironing out the craziest contract you've ever seen. It'll be the first NFL contract that is guaranteed for money that is exchangeable universally on other planets. Then I like the Falcons. Just like the Colts, the Falcons can offer the Ravens a very nice pick at 8 overall, which at least puts them in striking range for one of the top QBs. The Falcons have a couple ready-made weapons for Jackson and Kyle Pitts and Drake London, both of whom could really flourish with a better quarterback. Arthur Smith showed a lot of creativity getting Ryan Tannehill on the move in Tennessee, and that requires a little more cleverness than trying to make an athlete out of Lamar. This also makes sense for Lamar personally, who grew up in the South, hailing from Florida and playing college football at Louisville. Another good thing about the South, he's immediately the best QB in that division and makes the Falcons a clear-cut favorite. Then, let's throw in a wild card, which I talked about with Grossi, the Jets. The Jets and the Packers have been at an impasse longer than the Branch Davidians and the federal government. And unlike that standoff, I think there's a peaceful way to get both parties out of this without massive casualties. The Jets have a strong defense, a great young running back to play off Lamar in Breece Hall once he's healthy, and Garrett Wilson, who's probably already better than any wide receiver he's ever played with. Oh yeah, and Allen Lazard. He's stuck there, so enjoy throwing to him as well, Lamar. Also, damn, the schedule makers would be creaming over 2 Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson games every year. The Jets could have a QB for 1, maybe 2 years with Rodgers, or their guy for the next 5. It's up to them. Now, why is this happening? Before I wrap up, I want to talk about why I think it's come to this and why the Ravens would move on from the best quarterback in franchise history, with all due respect to Trent Dilfer, of course.
I love Tom Brady, I love Aaron Rodgers, I love these guys. It's not impressive.
Earlier I defended Lamar, now I want to think about this from the Ravens' perspective. First of all, I think the Ravens are a little nervous about committing long-term to a QB who's missed a significant chunk of the last 2 seasons. Because they know their training staff is not good. Not to mention the most crucial stretch of those 2 seasons. ESPN's Chris Mortensen also reported that he's missed practices and says teams have speculated that his absences are a result of bad sleeping habits and poor nutrition, though they don't question his character. Now, I don't know if that's teams colluding to smear a player, but bad sleeping habits at least is creative. I'll give him that. I can't speculate, though, on Lamar's diet. It's like, hey, a man needs a mid-game bathroom break once and now he's got poor diet, or whether he gets 8 hours, but it's up to a team to do that level of due diligence before making a franchise-altering trade on a guy, right? I mean, if the Broncos knew Russ was going to bulk up on Danger Witches last season, that might have changed their game plan.
Jeez.
It's very possible that the Ravens are trying to give themselves a lot of outs in this contract and make it as team-friendly as possible. And without an agent to counter the Ravens, Lamar and the Ravens front office might have just reached an impasse. Does Lamar deserve a massive deal? I think so. Are the Ravens wrong for being cautious? I don't think so. It might be a cop-out, but I think both sides sort of have a point, thus the dilemma. The Ravens didn't become the Ravens without having one of the most shrewd front offices in the league since they came to Baltimore in 1996. I mean, they told, I don't know, all of Cleveland to go fuck themselves? What's sticking it to Lamar? One man at this point. They're extremely discerning, and they know that they draft so well that they can be picky when it comes to handing out second contracts and extensions. And maybe they think that principle also applies to the QB position. Maybe they're content starting over at the toughest position to nail down, knowing that they can potentially land the 4th overall pick in exchange for Lamar Jackson, or just see which quarterback wants a new team next year. Keep in mind, too, this is a team that got backed into a corner when it was time to extend Joe Flacco, and they were doomed to mediocrity for a few years as a result. They call that Flacco's remorse, I believe. Now, in a post-Deshaun Watson world, it's not enough to hand over a big number to your quarterback. They want every penny guaranteed too, and far be it from the Ravens to get bent over a barrel because of a mistake division rival the Cleveland Browns made. I think it would be a mistake to move on from Lamar Jackson, obviously. But Lamar might be giving them a reason to cut ties without looking stupid. It will ultimately come down to their contingency plan and who they draft to replace him. But I think at this point, it's inevitable that these two sides will be parting ways.
Go Lamar!
Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. Make sure you come back tomorrow for the XFL recap because we got XFL Monday Night Football. So that video a day late this week due to their delayed schedule.